Hi, my name is Emelie and I'm here live from the BLC headquarters. Who am I sitting here with?
Uh, it's Jomar here.
Yeah.
One of I suppose the main founder of BLC. There's been a lot of people, including Steen, that have been there from the beginning. So I'd say, the guy that came up with the idea for the brand leadership community and then opened the doors to many others, basically.
Good. So what was the first idea you had?
So building community has been a part of my career. When I look back, I've worked at IBM and AC Nielsen. I've worked in publishing, and I've dealt with accounts like Apple, Sony, Panasonic, Dell. So I've had this exposure to a lot of brands when I was, I suppose, running advertising and marketing for a magazine, but also having worked in large companies and large brands, and also my time at IIH Nordic, which is now Dear Future.
Yeah.
I was head of events and partner relations there. So we were combining the the brands with events, and the vendors would come and sponsor the events. And we created this, not just an event, but we really were starting to build community as well. So, and for me, I think, my values, when I reflect my cultural values of being a Filipino-born Australian, it's something that community and people is a big part of our lives, and also being someone who's active with music and creating and doing small performances here and there. Community is a very big part of this form of creative expression, as it is with a lot of creative arts as well, right?
Yeah.
That was a long answer.
It was,
Yeah.
but it's community and it's an event. And why is this not just any event?
Well, the unofficial tagline, or I've written it somewhere, is the difference with our events. It is a community. I think if you're running an event, doesn't mean that you're building a community. And if you're a community, you may not even have events. It could be online, or it could be, people talk about a community of people that may not have formally meet up, but they'll talk about, this is my community in the interest. They're something that people have in common. So bringing of people together at a BLC event for us is more than just an event. We want it to be memorable, that it has to be memorable. Otherwise it's not worth, people are investing their time or their money or both. And the best return on investment in a lot of times is not so much what you learn or the ideas you get, but it is often the people that you meet. So for us, relationships that matter is kind of like the loose tagline I have with BLC, because it's about not just connecting people on LinkedIn, but having a greater depth, sharing experiences at an event, but at the event you share a bit more about yourself as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's important for us.
Yeah, I think so too. I talked a bit to Ange, one of our new colleagues, and she said that something that surprised her in a positive way is the breakout sessions. Can you tell me a bit more about these?
Yeah, so we call them peer-to-peer breakout sessions, or we're starting to call them more peer-to-peer breakout circles. I think circle is a word that we're starting to use, like the whole round table thing.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is that people get to meet each other and have an audience with each other. So that even if you've known someone for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, in this environment, you get to hear something that you may not have heard from a colleague or friend sitting there telling you about their experiences, their learnings, their challenges, what inspires them. So that's a very simple way to build community, is give people an audience, and it's a part of our mantra is give people a voice. And in the same way at the events, when we curate our events, we don't over-engineer what people are talking about, but it has to come from them. So that's really the important thing. It's a real personal expression, and that's what the circles, the peer-to-peer circles, are about as well.
Yeah, and especially since we usually have these circles right before lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
It comes really natural to really mingle around and meet new people. But if we should say, who are our customers?
Well, I suppose we never really call them customers.
No, we don't.
We have companies and organizations that will partner in our events through sponsorships.
Yeah.
So they are partnering in sharing the expense to put on an event, and it's not a transaction. Because often when you think of customers, you think of a transaction, but I would like to think of those brands that, of course, they're selling a solution or a technology, but for them it's important for them, or they need to realize the importance of the people that they meet and the relationships they can build at our events.
Yeah.
So it's not about lead gen or even branding. I mean, those things are important, but lead generation and branding, the best part of those come from the best relationships. And, you know, and with our website, we cover a lot of case studies through our articles as well. So it's, you know, they're getting a lot of exposure, not just from the in-person and not just the lead up, but also for a perpetual exposure in that sense. So that's when you talk about customers, from the brand point of view, it's those partners that sponsor our events, put in the resources and time to make the event memorable. And then we have those that are attending our events. And they're probably the most crucial people that we really need to service. And of course, they'll work from brands, but also attendees also come from agencies and also work at other product vendors as well. And as humans, they all want to achieve and excel in what they do. And often people will move around in those three circles as well. So, and we've seen that happen, you know. So would we call them customers? I would call them, you know, community members.
Yeah.
And the point that they actually buy a ticket, you know, that's a milestone. Yeah. And that's a point of, that's for us, it's really important that they're investing in their time and their money, or their company's money, or their internal reputation, on having a great experience that will add value to them, their career, and the company they work for. So, you know, they're the two main ones. And then there's also, we're doing a lot of consulting these days, for both the brands and the vendors. And that's where, particularly Steen, and I've done some consulting as well when it's come to putting on events for brands and helping them build their own brand leadership community. So it's often, you know, those consultative environment, or those brands that we're consulting to are often customers as well. So they're like kind of the three current ones that I would call the customers, or those that are investing their time and their money with the community, basically.
Yeah. We also have the master classes.
Absolutely. Yeah. How could I not mention that?
Yeah. And those are probably, like, at this point, our most, like, high value premium experience.
Yeah. And it's
tell me more.
Yeah. So it's an area that we have so much potential to grow. Yeah. And it's a very different way to engage a sponsored partnership, or even a ticket sale, because when we put on masterclasses, and we're making our masterclasses a recurring masterclass, because you'll have anywhere from 10 to maximum 20 people in a masterclass to an audience that could be a couple of thousand. So it's deeper learning. So it's learning from practitioners who have done it, who have really achieved some amazing things. But they're also learning as well, right? So they can very much relate to those who are attending the masterclasses. So, you know, they are premium ticketed items. Yeah. And the other thing is, when it is a premium ticketed item, it's something that a company will invest the training in their people. So that's the audience that we're creating these professional masterclasses and workshops for. And it's critically important because we're probably in one of the fastest evolving, changing industries. Probably like with music as well, with how streaming has affected that. But for a marketer or someone working with brand, and it's not just AI, it goes back to, the GDPR had a big impact, but then social media and the mobile phones and the internet have totally changed the world of brand marketing, analytics, product development and design, customer and brand experience. There are so many more data points, there are so many technologies, and there's so many regulations. So the need for keeping up to date and learning and building a foundation for leadership is really important.
Yeah, it is. You can get that kind of material online as well, but it's not the same kind of experience as we have, where you actually come to meet the trainer, you get to meet other people who are interested in the same kind of things.
Yeah.
So it's really a great experience.
Yeah, and that's what we want to aim for. It is, at the end of the day, we're building community. That's really what our purpose is. So whether it's through events, masterclasses, network groups, an online forum, which we hope to build at some point in time, the ultimate goal is getting people to connect with others in a meaningful way to help their career. So and for me, it's like, and I've been asked this before, I think I mentioned it, is what BLC is something, in my mind, something I wish that I had when I started my career or throughout my career, through the changes, is not just have access to information or looking up on YouTube how to, but to have the people around you and say, hey, I tried this and it's really helped. Like, I've found little hacks here and there through face-to-faces that I never would have known, because I never would have searched for, but when you're face-to-face, often they'll say, hey, you should try this. I just tried this. And it totally improved. Like, I figured out how to shut down multiple tabs because I'm a multiple tabber.
Who isn't?
So it's, what is it? Control or Alt W, and then anyway, I'll blog on it at some point in time. But that was an absolute life changer, right? And it's the simplest thing. And it's just someone showed me, hey, you want to get rid of all those tabs? Here you go. Yeah, so that's funny.
Yeah, it is. We have a new concept for this year for all our events with 3 streams. Can you tell me why and how this is different from what we used to have?
Yeah, so in 2026, 2025, we had the Brand Analytics Festival for the first time as a test of what we could do of combining events together. And as painfully hard and the amount of work that it was to do and to run into things, and ultimately people had a great time. I was running around like as we say in Australia, a blue-assed fly. So making sure there's enough beer and ice and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
I was still just visiting, not knowing how much effort it was behind it.
And we could see that this cross-pollination of people, because we combined a few events together. And it wasn't just about analysts or just marketers or product people. It was, or senior people or medium or entry level. It was like put everyone in a room or in an experience together and get them to talk to each other eye to eye. You know what I mean? And that, I think, is for me is something that it's such a joy to see happen. Yeah. Even though for me, I think we both suffer from being introverts, but extrovert introverts, because when we flip into something we love, it's shutting up is really hard.
Yes.
but in general, we love our quiet time, alone time, right? And to be able to ponder and don't like overstimulation or too much attention. So that's why you dragged me in here, isn't it?
It is.
Talk about myself.
Yeah.
But so back to the question of how we started it. Traditionally, well, the model when we started in 2020 was, let's do an event a month. Let's do MarTech, e-commerce, different, get them to, different focus each time.
Yeah.
And what that did is, it got people together talking. Not only that, running an event a month is a lot of work in a very down market. And after doing the Brand Analytics Festival and seeing this mix of people in a bigger event, it got us to thinking, instead of doing a lot of events, why don't we do less events in Copenhagen for the Nordic market on a quarterly level? And let's, again, get that mixing environment where we mix people around from e-com, MarTech, analytics, brand experience, UX, Crow. Of course, we won't get all those topics covered at once. But if we have an event that brings everyone under one roof, and then they break out into their different areas of interest, and then they all come together again, and then we do our peer-to-peer circles, randomly get people to mix and really get them to understand what each other does. Because one of the challenges that we all know with all organizations, we talk about data silos, where the fact is that there are human silos, there are mind silos, there are idea silos. And how do we bring those within an organization or within an industry together, give them that forum to cross-pollinate and explore each other? So what we call Brand Leadership Connect is, it isn't just analytics, it isn't just marketing, it isn't product, it isn't e-commerce. It's a combination of those things, with the feature on at least 3 to 5 of them each time we do it, and really get the cross-pollination happening, which I think is, for us, the best value we can give. Everyone goes into their hyper area of knowledge and sharing, which is great. We still need that, and we'll do that as well. We've got analyticsdev.net, which is very technical.
Yeah.
so the it is, but there's also a time for how do people understand what data can do if they're from marketing, or if they're in sales, or if they're in product. There's a lot of great knowledge that isn't being shared across disciplines within an organization, right? So that's what we're trying to address is build better relationships and understanding cross-function.
Yeah, and it feels like the job market looks like that.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah, is that you'll study, like I was talking to one of your former alumni at IHM.
Yeah.
And she, Cecilia, hope you're listening.
Hi.
Told me that, she studied web analytics, and it was great. But the next job that she got, the web analytics was only 20% of what she did. Yeah. And the rest was applying into all the other areas and learning that as well. Yeah. And I think it's important that, yes, what you learn one day may either be less relevant, more relevant, or only partially relevant in future years. It's continuous learning, continuous connecting, keeping an open mind, and most importantly, being curious.
Yes.
That is so important.
Yeah, definitely. I have one last question.
Sure. What's
more important, AI or connection?
Connecting with AI. That's a Steen answer for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's like, and I probably stand by that, because, we are using, I think those who know that if we don't move with technology, we will be moved out of our career path. Yeah. And for those of us who are discovering what is possible with AI, it's constantly mind-blowing how we can improve how we do things. Yeah. And if we have more time to get things done, we have more time for people. Yeah. So we're better informed when we meet people. Yeah. And when we meet people, we often share the latest hack with AI as well,
Yeah, we do.
So that's great. I mean, and I've lived through multiple generations of technology. I'm born in '68. I started my career at IBM. I saw the old mainframes go out there, and I saw the old punch cards come in. In the warehouse, and I saw my first fax machine at IBM, and I've seen them disappear as
Yeah.
well, right? I've seen the internet come. I remember I had an email address when I was at IBM when none of my friends or family had email, and I tried to explain that I get mail through a computer, and they're like, so does the mail come out of the computer? I said, no,
Yeah.
it comes through the screen, like through the screen physically. No, it's on the screen.
Yeah.
You know, I remember trying to
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
that to people, what email was. And that's when I look back now, it's like I've been thrust, also because of my curiosity, like ahead of the greater wave. I haven't been at the bleeding edge because that's just too hard and you need a special brain for that.
Yeah.
But I love those people that really are super early adopters. But I'm still an early adopter than the greater bell curve of people.
Yeah.
And AI really is imperative. It's going to be asked in job interviews, how well do you use AI? Because that's going to save their company a lot of money. And of course, jobs change because of AI. It's like, you know, farmers who used to hire 50 people for harvesting.
Yeah.
They're not going to hire them purely
No.
to hire them to watch the harvester do the work that is now run by a machine. So it's about evolving and adapting to the technology. And again, the important quote that I've seen at a Web Analytics Wednesday that Hector Martinez gave out, that he said was not his quote, but he got from somewhere, was AI won't take your job, but someone using AI will. And that really stuck in my mind, and it showed me the importance of using AI, but also understanding the ethics of using AI. So you've got copyright, you've got personal information, you've got to have the diligence and the respect of using a tool like this with integrity to do better things. And I know bad things are going to come out of AI, the same way with the internet when it first came out, or the same with social media. It was wonderful, people connecting, and later so many of the bad players come in and all that stuff. And we will probably see that with AI as well. We're already seeing deep fakes come out and stuff, but ultimately it's AI and people, you know, they are as important to each other as, unless you live on an island and you have everything taken care of, right?
Yeah. But I guess it frees up a lot of time where you can actually
do some cool work.
and
innovate,
and connection.
Yeah, and connection.
Yeah.
There are so many things. So, and I'm 50 at the time of this recording. I just turned 58.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm 28. I still feel like I'm learning as much as I did as I was in my 20s. And there are still so many questions that are unanswered. You know, like there's no time to stop and chill when there are so many things to find out. And I love that. I love, you know, innovation and change, but I also want to see things architected and designed to run optimally. So we're not constantly stressed. I want to be able to focus on the important things, not always pulled into urgent things, right? So that's where I think AI can also help us, you know, focus on the right things, understand things better as well. So that was a trick question you gave me, but I think I gave you a trick answer, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you for dragging me in here with this great idea.
Yeah, you needed it.
Love it.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.